Okay, good morning, class. So, this morning we're going to tackle another story that has a moral lesson at the end. But before that, I will show you our classroom rules. Our classroom rules are three consecutive. Number one, we have avoid making unnecessary noise. Number two, raise your hands if you want to answer. 3. Turn off your mic during the discussion. Number 4. Open only your mic during oral and presentation. Do you have any additional idea or clarification about our previous lesson, class? Okay, if none, so let's proceed. But before that, I will show you as activity first. Okay, we have the tortoise and the hare. One fable that most people have heard of is called the tortoise and the hare. The animals race each other, and the hare is so far ahead that he takes a nap. The tortoise keeping going wins in the race even though the hare is faster. So these are a story that we get a moral lesson at the end. The moral lesson of the tortoise and the hare is slowly and steady wins the race. So that is the example activity that connected to our new lesson this morning. So our lesson this morning is about the ant in a grasshopper. But before that, we are going to read the objective of the lesson. Okay, our lesson objective, we have at the end of the lesson, the students are expected to identify the character of the story. Second, explain the moral value conveyed in the story. And third, apply the moral lesson in the real life situation. Okay, and then, so let's have now the story, which is the ant in the grasshopper. Okay, everybody, listen while I read the story loud in front. The ant and the grasshopper. The ant, one bright day in late autumn, a family of ants were bustling about in the warm sunshine, drying out of the grain they had stored up during the summer, when a starving grasshopper, his fiddle under his arm, came up and humbly begged for a bite to eat. So, what, cried the ants in surprise. Haven't you stored anything away for the winter? What in the world were you doing last summer? So this story is focused on the characters, which are the ant and the grasshopper. Within this story, there are different behavior or attitudes that the characters deals with. So for example, in the first stanza, we have one bright day in the late autumn, a family of ants were bustling up under the sunshine. So we can see that the ants' characteristic as they are hardworking. They are busy in gathering food for the winter, drying out the grain they had stored up during the summer. So nag-prepare sila og mga food kay if moabot ang winter. And we know that the winter is the coldest season of the year that we cannot gather food anymore. So, during the summer, we na starving grasshopper. So, starving meaning to say nagugutom na ang grasshopper. And then, she came to the house of the ant and said, with his fiddle in his arm. So, we know that a grasshopper is like to sing, like music in the summer. So, he did not stored food for the winter. The disturbing grasshopper, his fiddle under his arm. So, pumunta yung grasshopper sa bahay ni ant at siya ay nagugutom in his fiddle under his arm. Pero meron pa siyang violin sa kanyang kamot. and came up humbly begged for the bite of it. So nagmamakaawa siya kay ant na bigyan siya ng pagkain dahil siya ay nagugutom. What? So this is the reaction of ants toward the grasshopper. Cried the ant surprised. Haven't you stored anything away for the winter? So nangutana siya, wala di ka nag-andam mga pagkaon para sa winter. We know that the winter is a coldness season and there's no time to prepare food for those times. So what in the world were you doing last summer? So the ant asked question to the grasshopper. Ano bang kanyang ginagawa ng time na summer? Why she did not store food? Okay, let's found to the next stanza. I did not have time to store up any food, so sabi ng grasshopper. Wala daw siyang oras na mag-impake ng mga pagkain. When the grasshopper. I did not have time to store up any food when the grasshopper. I was so busy making music that I before knew it was summer done. So, hindi niya pala naisip na mag-i-end na yung summer kasi ano yung ginagawa niya is making music. Nagagawa lang siya ng music that before I knew that was summer's gone. So, hindi pala alam niya na matatapos na yung summer season at winter season na ang susunod. All she did is only to sing, create music, and sang under the summer season. So the ants shrugged their shoulders in disgust. Susuko kayo, nagagalit talaga yung ants kay grasshopper kasi masasabi na siya ay nag-imbak ng mga pagkain para sa winter season at ikukumpara naman natin kay grasshopper, she is so very lazy in that times na maaabot yung winter season is manghingi lang siya ng pagkain. So this is the reaction of the ant when she heard the words or the reason of a lazy grasshopper. The ant reaction is the ant shrugged their shoulders is in disgust. Making music were you? Okay, that is a response. They cried. Very well, now dance. So, ngayon din sasayaw din siya, sabi ng ants. Dahil music lang yung ginagawa niya. And they turned their back to the grasshopper and went to their work. So, tinalikuran ng ant ang grasshopper and she can't give him or her a food because she was very angry to the grasshopper, imagining the ant is working all day under the hot sunshine while the grasshopper singing and they do a selfishness of herself that she could store food for the winter. So the story is very nice because it gives a moral at the end. Okay, the moral lesson of the story about the ants and the grasshopper, there's a time for work and a time for play. So in this story, we realize and we can apply to our real life situation that there is a time for work. So meron ding oras tayo na ilaan sa ating paglalaro or pleasure at meron din tayong oras for work. Dapat yung balance kasi pag iniisip na to yung ginagawa ni grasshopper, imbalance na yung ginagawa niya because they are spend more time in playing, not in working. So the result is she gets starving because the ant did not listen to his word and the ants get angry to them. So what do you observe in the story class? So the story is very replicable to us that within the story you can get a moral lesson, and this is very helpful to our real life situation, you as a children. Okay, let's proceed to our class activity. So first, our class activity is all about a flow chart. I want you to create a flowchart about the settings or the plot of the story, sequence the event of the story. So this is the rubrics. You have the excellent, moderate, and poor. It is divided in category. So excellent, moderate, and poor. Okay. If you done answering it, send it to my messenger. And then okay, I give you 10 minutes for the answering of the flowchart. Okay, if you are done, let's proceed to the next activity. We have collage making. So in collage making activity, these are the different directions. Using the characters of the story, make a collage. At the left column, align all the characters. At the right section, put all the behaviors and characteristic of the character. Okay. Okay, do it now. I give you a 10 minutes also to answer the activity. Okay, for the collage making rubrics, this is the rubrics for collage making. We have the category, the neatness, the creativity, and the organization for the weight of 3, 2, and 1. So you need to follow this rubric in order to accomplish the collage making activity. Okay, if you are done, just pass it to my messengers. Okay, let's proceed to the next activity. Okay, for your application, so reflective, you need to create an reflectivity about the story. So there is also analytical rubrics applied to accomplish the given activity. Okay, next we have for your assignment class, you need to in your notepad write all the takeaways learned from this lesson. And that's all for today's class, and thank you for your all cooperations. Goodbye, class.